We break out our huddle every time we say AAE, and that's what we wanted to build the culture around. My first year here was accountability, attitude, and effort. I said, if we can take care of those three things, then we're going to be successful. We're going to be accountable for our actions. We're going to be accountable for showing up on time. We're going to be accountable in the weight room. We're going to make sure that we're pushing each other every day in practice. And I told them my very first day here, I said, I promise you, I'm going to show up every day in a great mood. I'm going to be positive, and I have relentless positivity, I like to say. I said, as long as y'all bring a great attitude and great effort, I'm never going to be upset because we're going to make mistakes for a high school 1A team. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but so long as we're being accountable to one another, we're having great attitudes and we're having great effort, then we can go wherever we want.
Welcome back to Building a Champion, the podcast where we explore what it takes to build winning programs and championship cultures in athletics. Today, we are heading deep into small town Texas, population 252, where Fayetteville High School just did something no team in high school basketball history has ever done. The Lions connected on 40 three-pointers in a single game, breaking the national record and finishing with a 120-25 win. Joining us today is the man leading the charge, head coach Jake Diggs. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, we're going to start right there. 40 three-pointers, a national record. When did you realize this wasn't just a hot shooting night and that this was history in the making?
About the first quarter, we knew going into the game that it was going to be a different type of game, and we wanted to give our guys just something to work for, something where they weren't just going to be standing around out there. And we ended up making 16 in the first quarter. So we kind of started looking around saying, well, good gosh, we're making quite a few. And then I think we had 22 at halftime and kind of looked. Our lady at the scorer's table said, the national record is 36. So we said, well, crap, how often do you get to break a national record? We might as well try it.
You didn't just stumble into it. As you said, you kind of set out to break the record, or at least gave your team a challenge going into the game. Where did the idea come from, and how did your guys respond when you told them that was the goal?
We'd always talked about how cool it would be to just try that one game. And again, the game that we were going into, we knew kind of what the game was going to be, and we'd already played them one time and had my JV play a lot of the game that one. And then this one, my JV actually played a game right before. So I only had my varsity guys. And so we'd always talked about, hey, I wonder how many we could make if we only shot threes for a game. Because we're a decent shooting team. So we kind of said, hey, let's just go for it and see what happens. And then, like I said, we had 16 after the first quarter. And we said, well, good gosh, might as well try.
What kind of
attempted,
offense?
Yeah. Go ahead,
What kind of offense do you run that...
In a traditional game that's not like that, we pride ourselves. It's race and space. We're trying to run down the floor as quick as we can. We're trying to make 0.5 decisions. If they catch the basketball, they got a half second to either shoot it, drive it, or move it. And so we're always just trying to get that first domino on defense to fall, keep advantage, and then move the ball from there until we get a great shot and a great look. And in that game, we just had a lot of great looks.
You attempted 98 three-pointers, didn't shoot a single two. That's commitment. What was the strategy going into that game?
Like I said before, it was just something fun for our guys to do to keep them engaged in the game to where they weren't just sitting around and being lazy and getting into bad habits. So again, it was just, hey, let's see how many we can make and see if we can shoot only threes and see what happens.
They grabbed a ton of offensive rebounds, 30 of them. Every time, kicked them back out for another shot at that record. Shows some serious buy-in from your team. What does it say about their mentality?
We got a great group of kids, and they're more than anything, they're really good kids. They're going to work hard, and they're all together. They didn't care who made the shots. Again, it was a fun team goal to have, and they're all bought in and just kick it out to whoever's open.
Fayetteville is a Conference 1A school with just 97 high school students. Most programs that size are just trying to field a competitive team, but you're out there chasing national records. Where does that mindset stem from?
We just want to develop a team that's going to be intense and it's going to play hard, and we're going to work hard. And like I said, we're very blessed with a great group of kids and guys that want to work hard. They're all in the gym shooting right now as we're talking. And I told them they could leave 30 minutes ago and they're still up here shooting. So it's just a great group of kids, great administration, great parents, great everything.
Yeah. With with you at the helm, you guys have had some success in the postseason. Um, what was the culture like, when you showed up, and what have you really tried to hone in on as far as culture and building that out with the team since you've been the head coach?
So whenever I got here, this is now year 5 for me here. And Fayetteville is always known as a big baseball school. Still are. Actually won the state championship last year. Shout out Coach Yeager. And it's still a big time baseball school. And I remember I took the job and everyone's like, I don't know what you're going to do as far as basketball. That's just baseball only. And I said, well, I mean, we're going to go out there and see what we can do. And I think it's just been, whenever I first got here, I told them, I said, look, we're going to be successful. And I said, we're going to be successful because we're going to put in the work. And I think I got a few funny looks, but once we started hitting the weight room every morning before school, started practicing hard, we got a lot of buy-in from guys. And really that first group that I didn't have one senior whenever I first got here, it was just juniors. And so that junior class really bought in. We went 14-19 that first year here. And that was the most wins Fayetteville had in, I don't even know how long, a few years. And the next year we actually made it to the regional tournament. And I think all the younger guys started seeing, man, we can be successful at everything, because we've always been big on success breeds success. If we can have success in one thing, we're going to have success in another thing. If we can be successful in baseball, we can do it in basketball. That can lead to track. That can lead to everything that we do. And so it was really just implementing the mindset that we're going to be successful as long as we put in that work.
Yeah. Do you have some of the baseball players play on the team as well? And how do you think that kind of carried over to some of the success you have?
We're at a 1A school. We share athletes with everything. Our best basketball players, they're our best baseball players, they're our best track athletes. We're constantly having to share. And the good news here is we have such a great coaching staff, and we all understand that we have one goal, and that's to see the Lions be successful no matter what sport it is. And I mean, shoot, the head baseball coach is my assistant. And so and he's also our athletic director, and he's a great guy, and just very fortunate that all the parents, all the administration, our board, all the community just wants the kids to work and wants them to be successful no matter what sport we're in.
There is something special about small town sports. The entire town probably knows these kids. What was the atmosphere that night in the gym? What did it mean to your community?
I'd love to say it was a great atmosphere, but again, going in, our town kind of knew what that game was going to be, so it wasn't the biggest turnout. And then I don't even know if our fans knew what we were doing. I think it might have clicked about halftime. They said, these guys are only shooting threes. I wonder if this was the game plan going in. And then, of course, our kids told them after the game, like, hey, we're trying to have some fun and trying to make the game mean a little something.
Another kind of cool fact from that game is that every single player in uniform hit a 3 that night. So that's pretty incredible in itself. How intentional are you about building a culture where every player contributes?
We want to make sure that every player has success and that every player feels confident whenever they go into the game. And we were actually kind of tracking, okay, who hasn't made one? Who needs to get in there? Who do we need to pass the ball to next? And all of our guys on the floor knew, okay, we got to get him the ball because he hadn't made one yet. We're not going to shoot another one until he gets one. And I actually had a kid tell me, he's like, Coach, I got to get one. I got to be a part. And so I said, all right, go get you one, buddy. And he actually made his next shot. So it was pretty fun.
That's very cute. It wasn't just a gimmick night. Your team is doing very well this season, 24-6. You reached the state semifinals in the 23-24 season, and then regional finals last year. How does a performance like this one fit into the bigger vision for your program?
Oh, and we're just going to try to carry over the success that we've had. And it's cool that we've been there so the guys know what it takes to get back there. And we do rely a lot on our shooting. We've made 328 threes so far this year as a team. So I looked it up the other day. We got one guy with 106. We have another guy with 86. We have another guy with 72. And so it's a big part of our game anyways, finding the open shot and then taking it. And so that is kind of just a shooting practice night, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Do you think something like this gives them some belief that they can accomplish anything?
Sure. I don't see why not. I mean, they know that we can go out there and set a goal and put in the work, and it can happen.
When you look at the program under your leadership, what's the identity and what do you want Fayetteville basketball to be known for?
We break out our huddle every time we say AAE, and that's what we wanted to build the culture around. My first year here was accountability, attitude, and effort. I said, if we can take care of those three things, then we're going to be successful. We're going to be accountable for our actions. We're going to be accountable for showing up on time. We're going to be accountable in the weight room. We're going to make sure that we're pushing each other every day in practice. And I told them my very first day here, I said, I promise you, I'm going to show up every day in a great mood. I'm going to be positive, and I have relentless positivity, I like to say. I said, as long as y'all bring a great attitude and great effort, I'm never going to be upset, because we're going to make mistakes for a high school 1A team. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but so long as we're being accountable to one another, we're having great attitudes and we're having great effort, then we can go wherever we want.
So obviously they're falling that night when you put 40 in. But maybe when you go a little bit harder competition and maybe the threes aren't falling the way you want them to, because sometimes, I mean, any team going to go into a little bit of a cold streak. What's kind of the adjustment, or what are you telling the guys in the huddle as you're, maybe the shots aren't falling, but you're getting rebounds or whatever it may be. What's the mindset, or what are you telling the guys?
Oh, we're going to get to the rim. So again, that night was a way different night than a typical one. But typically, I mean, we're shooting more twos than threes, of course. We're working the ball, getting inside. We're looking for layups in transition. We're looking to go finish. We work finishing drills every day. And then, of course, the kick out three is always going to be there. But we prefer inside out three, one that comes from the paint. We're always looking for paint touches. So if you look at the stats at any team, anything that comes from the paint to the outside is going to be a higher percentage shot than just a dribble up three or a pass from the perimeter of three. So we're always looking to collapse the defense, kick out, and make a three. And if the threes aren't falling that night, then we're going to get to the rim and try and get the free throw line, see if you go through the net, and see if we can't go from there.
When your players look back years from now, what do you hope they remember most about this season?
I hope they remember that that they put in the work. I think this might be the hardest working group I've ever had. And I told them before the season, I said, guys, however this season goes, because we know we have a chance to be successful. And I said, regardless of the outcome, be proud of the work that we put in. Because this offseason, I mean, they work so hard. They live up here in the gym. I have to kick them out after practice. I said, guys, I'm ready to go home. Get out of here. And there's some teams that as soon as you blow that whistle, they're all racing to see who can get changed first and get home. And this group of guys, they just want to stay. They love each other. It's a fun program to be around. They're up here every weekend getting shots up. And so I just hope they remember that the work that they put in and set a goal together, and that they just had a good time playing high school basketball.
Love that. All right. We have our favorite segment here coming up. It's called Game Time Decisions. We ask quick questions. You give quick answers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First three of the night or the record-breaking 37th, which is the bigger moment?
Probably the record-breaking 37th.
Hot hand or great ball movement?
Great ball movement, because that'll lead to a high hand.
There you go. More nerve-wracking, chasing a record or chasing a state title?
State title, no doubt.
Best part of coaching in a town of 252 people?
The community support, and all the community rallies behind these guys, our administration rallies behind these guys. Everybody we all know each other. It's all a very tight-knit thing, and it's just the community support, I would say.
What would you say is your go-to pump-up song before a big game?
They play stuff I couldn't even tell you what is. I don't understand any. I tell them, we talk in the log room, and I say, whatever y'all need to listen to get yourselves fired up, do that. And I think the song I play the most just to make them mad is Four Non-Blondes, What's Up? Whenever I don't like their music or they're not giving good effort, we just play that song on repeat until it gets fixed.
If you could pick one word that describes Fayetteville basketball, what would it be?
Probably togetherness. Cliche, but that's what it is.
How many threes are you guys putting up next time?
That's a great question. Hopefully a lot.
And if you could guarantee one thing this season, another record or state championship?
State title, no doubt.
You guys have one coming up. This is a big week for you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what lies ahead for your team here coming up in the next couple weeks?
Well, it's kind of a mystery right now. We got the only thing we have guaranteed right now is we have Round Top tomorrow to finish off district. We got senior night coming up for our guys. And then on Friday, we have to have a tiebreaker for the district championship with Richards, another really, really good team in our district. They're, I think, state ranked in the top 10 as well. And so we got that coming up on Friday to see where we go from there. And then playoffs start next Tuesday. And we really don't know who we're going to play yet, because underneath us in our district, there's a 3-way tie for third. And with the whole divisions that went D1 and D2, big school, small school, it kind of depends on how that falls below us, whether or not Richard's going to be Division 1 or Division 2. And so if we take care of business Friday, we're guaranteed the 1 seed no matter what. So that's our focus right now, is just taking care of business on Friday.
Here you go. Any other questions on your end, Paul?
No, this is exciting. It's a great story, and awesome that you guys can spray from some threes and, have a successful season of that as well.
Coach Diggs, this has been an incredible conversation. 43 pointers, national record, and a small town program proving that big dreams don't require big enrollment numbers. Congratulations again on an unforgettable night, and best of luck the rest of the season here this week as you chase that state title. We'll be paying attention.
All right. Thank y'all very much.
You bet.
Yeah,
That
good
is
luck.
going to wrap up this episode of Building a Champion. If you enjoyed this story of bold goals and fearless basketball, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who loves the game. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep building champions.